responsible for counting the number of claimable meals at the two, we call them satellite sites, and that's Three Rivers Trailer Park and also at the Lions Park. And what I need from you, I'm going to hand you these. All of our sheets are color coded so that we can, so I don't have to try to remember what the title of every one of them are. It's just called the daily meal count, and it's really simple thing to do because you're going to need to do it too when you're here at Our Savior's. It's what I need at the very top is the site name, the type of meal, and it's lunch. It's always going to be lunch. The address, telephone. You don't worry about telephone name. And then the supervisor's name is going to be Katie Menke, and it'll always be Katie because ultimately she is the responsible person. She is the Loaves and Fishes staff member, and she's the one that when I have any questions, she's the one I'm going to go after. And so whatever day it is.
Paper and pencil, I'm sorry.
Oh.
K-T-I-E for Katie.
Is it, you want a small piece of paper?
Oh,
K-I-T.
I need a pen too, so.
And then you just put on there whatever the day is, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, date, and then the number one there, the day of meals received. Because these are going to be satellites, it wouldn't hurt to put how many meals were received. And I think Katie will give you that. And delivery temp, I'm not going to worry too much about that. It's just going to be so quick. What you need to do, and Emily will provide you with a clicker, is every time you hand a meal to that child under 18 and under, you can, anybody that's under 18, you just click off. It's just simple, just click. But you've got to make sure that, and this is another responsibility of the site coordinator, or Katie, is that in that sack there is those meal components, and the components of the meal have to be 2 ounces of protein, a grain, and 3/4 cup of a fruit and a vegetable. And that will, my understanding from Mary is that's going to all be prepared here, and by the time you get it, you're going to have a sack with the fruit and vegetable in it, or you're not going to, and then you're going to have the sandwiches in a cooler. So then you'll just hand the sack, the cooler, the sandwiches from the cooler, and then you will hand, I think that we're hopefully going to have cartons of milk. And that's it. And then you just click that. And then at the end of the half hour, it's just a half hour at the trailer park, and it's a full hour at Lions Park.
It's a half hour at Lions Park.
Oh, it's a half hour at both of them. Okay. I guess
And then now, do you want questions now?
I just want to say,
wait.
because we're going to have a clicker, say you had 10 kids there, and then just circle that 10, and then just write clicker down here. Because there is another way of keeping track by hash marks, and they get real picky about how the hash marks have to go, and so it's easier with the clicker. Yeah.
So just write clicker.
Just clicker anywhere on there,
Anywhere on there. Okay.
and then just total of first meals, we put 10 down here. You're not gonna, and then what I also need to know is how many adults that you served. And you can put, let's see, this is different than what we did, because we don't have, where is adults here?
So the total non-program,
Yeah, total non-program. Where are they at?
right here.
I'm not used to using that down here. Okay. All right, on number 5. So if you have adults and anybody other over 18, we just need to know how many.
So you'll actually get 2 clickers, so one can be for adults, one can be for kids, and then you just click them off, and at the end, under number 2, that will be your kid clicker, number 5 will be your adult clicker.
Yeah, and that'll be it.
And it is as easy as it sounds.
And number 6,
It
you
is.
add 2
It is.
Yeah, exactly. And don't
not
worry about
rocket
that long, because when Katie will get this back, I will work with her. There's another sheet that she will transfer all these numbers on. But that's all there is to it. It's really simple, but it's also very important, because this is the sheet that we work from. This is how we claim our meals. And we do get we get over $3 per meal per kid. I should just go back, just a step back just a little bit and talk a little bit about why Loaves and Fishes is doing this. And one of the major reasons is because it extends our mission. Our mission is to feed the needy. And so this was just a very good way to extend that mission. And then the other reason why we do this is for revenue. And it's kind of a two-fisted thing. We're really out there extending our mission, but it's also helping us, especially in the summer, for revenue. And it's helping we're able to give jobs to our interns. We're able to buy food. We're able to do all the things that we need to do with the help of this summer feeding program. So, like I said, it is easy. It is easy, but it's vitally important, because this is to be crass about it, it's a moneymaker. And so we really depend on our volunteers and our site coordinators for this. And at the very bottom, if you just sign and date it. And
Site
then
coordinator fills this out though, right?
No, you fill it out as a volunteer.
So how many, there's 10 volunteers, there's 10 of these sheets?
No, there should be just one sheet per
One
meal.
sheet
Per
per
meal,
meal.
Yeah,
per day.
per day.
Per day,
All right.
yeah.
Because we're up
And then
to
you can
16.
decide, once you guys all know what you're doing and how
Mm-hmm.
whoever does it.
Okay.
But then you'll have to work out the logistics with Katie on how she gets these sheets. Do you come back here? Do you just send them back? I assume you're gonna have some kind of a runner that's gonna run this food back and forth. I mean, that'll have to be worked out there, the logistics of that, because she'll have to keep these all in the notebook here at this site. And because at the end of the summer, I collect all these notebooks, and then we keep them for 3 years. You can see my office is just notebooks.
Yeah.
But it's just, this is just a really important piece, and I'm glad you are taping this, and I hope that people do take this very serious, because this is just something that we couldn't do this without your help. And we vitally need the volunteers, and we're really grateful that you're willing to spend some time.
Is there a certain age person that should run the clicker, like over 16?
You know, if you have a very competent 13-year-old that that can watch these and really understand about components of these meals, I don't have any problem with that. But
We do 16.
it's just, you can just explain to them the seriousness of doing this.
Sure.
I think there is probably a little, the biggest slippage might be getting these back to Katie every day, and that might be something that, well, she'll have to think about and have to work it out with, but that could be, maybe you have a volunteer that's.
We bring items back to our
Okay.
saviors, the coolers, so it could work that way. Or does she need them every day, or we also have a folder on
She'll need
site?
them every week, because
Okay.
once I get to the site paperwork, because I need a report every Monday of what happened the previous week for accounts.
Sure.
So
And
maybe it's on site, you have a bunch of these, and then at the end of the week, whoever's there on Friday is responsible to bring back all 5.
I'll just leave a bunch,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a bunch in here, but when you're needing 3 a day, you're gonna need a lot of these. So I'll make sure that Katie, when she comes up and fixes the food, I have a lot at the
Okay.
office, so there won't be a problem.
And any
with that.
color's fine.
I just have one quick suggestion about clickers. If you could somehow make one adult, one child,
Okay.
or label them, or
Yep.
one's pink
Oh,
and one's
yeah.
blue.
Yep.
Because
that
it's
is-
amazing.
It
Yeah.
is, you are clicking and all of a sudden you think, okay, was that an adult?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, it does happen,
Okay.
yeah.
Especially out in these satellite areas, it's not,
A lot of our site coordinators will even tie like a ribbon to one, and if it's like, okay, ribbon 1 is always kids, or whatever.
Yep.
I'll get some sort of code on it.
Okay.
so, but that's pretty much it for volunteers. And I just really, like I said, I'm really thankful that you have that many, so you have 100.
We have a lot. Between
Okay,
all the sites in Hastings, there's 500 and some volunteer slots.
Okay,
So
okay.
that's what.
And they're all gonna be on summer feeding then?
Either here through Loaves and Fishes,
Okay.
or at Three Rivers, or at
Well,
Lions.
that's really
in the
good for
delivery.
Katie to have that, because that is going,
Yeah.
because she's gonna have to, well, she'll have to work it out, assigning, people to do, like, get the lunches ready for the
Mhm.
trailer park, and somebody
Mhm.
else doing lunches for
Yeah.
the park,
Yeah.
and this is pretty complex.
And it worked. It worked well,
Okay,
too.
great,
So,
great.
that's good. Couple questions I
Question,
have.
okay.
Yes. So the time of serving 12 to 12:30, latecomers, can we serve beyond 12:30? We just have to make sure we're there during those times for sure, because of the department head, but we
Yeah.
can do late. We
You
if somebody's
can,
coming.
yeah, you
Okay,
can.
and count,
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you have food left over,
exactly.
yeah.
Then I saw, and then also, can you talk some about, to count the meal, do they have to eat on site?
They have to eat on site, that's the other thing, they cannot take the food away from whatever the area is that's designated to eat. Part of that is because the whole point of all this is communal dining,
Mhm.
fellowship, being together, and so, to take food away, except for like an apple, or if they had carrot sticks or something that they could, that's pretty toteable.
Mm-hmm.
But the majority of the food has to be eaten on site. Now, are you
Okay.
gonna have picnic tables there at the
Yes.
park? I mean, not at the park, but at the trailer park also?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the kids then will be sitting, and is this part of the programming that you're, okay?
Yep, so we'll do lunch to begin with, and
Okay.
then we'll have activities that will
Okay.
run to 1. So that's why, depending on the
Yeah.
activity, some will probably do the activity, come and eat, you got going back and
Well,
forth.
as long as your volunteers know that, and so that they can still
Right,
count,
Right,
yeah.
right. And we'll let it, we'll structure that, because yes, we'll want them to eat, and,
Mhm,
so that they
mhm.
can have the food and then go
Okay.
and play.
Okay,
Because otherwise, the
Okay,
funding stream
okay.
too. All right, so say that you have a situation where the child doesn't stay, that they, you courteously ask them or whatever, but they just keep leaving.
Yeah,
So then would you take off account for the clicker?
that's what we're supposed to do, yes.
Is that what you would
Yeah,
like us to do?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If you can't make a child,
No, and I just
Something
want,
I
because I
don't
can
wanna
see a volunteer wondering that.
yeah,
So should I take one off, or do I leave it? And I know, yeah,
yeah.
so
let's
just
do
some
it.
guidelines, I know
Let's
there's
just do
always
that.
judgment.
Yeah, it's all judgment.
And with an adult, because it's not a reimbursed meal,
They
we
can do
don't
what they
care.
want, yeah.
And
Yeah,
you can
we
still
don't,
click the
which-
adults.
but,
Click it, so
Yeah.
because of the count for
Yeah.
preparation. But because we had seniors last year, especially you get hot weather, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter if they go home.
That's right,
Because it's not
seniors.
a countable.
but
meal
you
to
want
get
those
rid
children
of.
to all be part of that community,
Right,
and that's part of the programming.
yeah.
Yeah, I can understand with seniors if
Yeah.
they, yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
And, but we do keep an internal count.
Yes.
Last July, we served 60,000 meals.
Amazing.
And we're looking at what our July,
Mm.
the calendar's a little different this year. Last year we had 5 weeks in July, this year we don't. So it
Uh-huh.
might be a little, skewed that way, but,
Sure.
yeah, so we may not be able to boast that we have a really big July, but it'll be big, it'll be big.
What did you do if it rained, Mary?
That, I was gonna mention that too. Last year, we decided to serve meals if it rained.
Okay,
This year, we are not.
Oh, you're
Oh,
not.
okay.
Because you might have had a handful of people, the most I think we ever had was 12. But we were feeling so heartfelt for the 12 that we decided we would do it during the rain. But just like Emily spoke earlier, if you're preparing that many meals, you gotta be able to have a good faith effort, you're gonna use them.
Yeah.
So if it rains, what we will do is we'll go on Facebook, post it and say, hey, everybody, you're invited over to our Saviors, they'll be
Okay.
serving a hot lunch. We won't be at the parks today due to the rain.
Mm.
And then that way, give them a soft invite,
Mhm.
also the address, in case some folks don't know.
okay.
So that way we can, that's the nice thing
You
about
just
having
shoot me an
that
email
inside.
when that happens
Sure,
too, so
sure.
that, yeah, so that I can,
And then I haven't met you before.
Why?
But I'm Kelly, I'm doing the volunteer, when you sign up for the mobile sites, volunteer sign up. And Mary and I will coordinate cancel of rain so that volunteers, I will then get a hold of volunteers to let them know that we're not.
Okay,
Going to
okay.
do the mobile sites today, so you'll know ahead of time.
Oh, great, good. So you got it pretty, the communication pretty well set up.
Mhm.
Okay, good.
And then,
Is there
I'm
something,
sorry, go ahead.
no, is there something will something be posted at the park so on the day it rains to let the kids know that there is something going on here?
Uh, We'll have to think logistically how we would do that, because I'd have to leave the office to go do that.
Or I could do
So,
that.
Or
with,
can it be
one
on
of
the
those
sign
signs.
in case of rain, all meals that are saved?
Oh, that's a good idea.
And did I bring a menu? Probably not.
What-
I think it does say that. I could be
Oh.
wrong. Do you remember?
Well, that's fine.
It does on the
This
flyer.
doesn't say it,
It's on
but the flyer. Is
Oh,
it on the
okay.
flyer?
Yeah, it's
Case of
just-
rain, join us at our city.
Oh,
Hall.
okay.
Oh,
So,
okay, that'll do.
One other question I had regarding this, second meals. Is there anything with the second
No,
meal?
we
Okay,
don't,
so
we do not
that.
count any second meals. I think there are some programs that they allow them to count as second meal for claiming. I think there is some kind of a discount for second, but we don't. We
Okay.
don't.
You wanna talk
Right.
about this, what second meal is, so they know?
Oh, say, I'm a kid, I had my lunch, and I'm still hungry, you got meals left, so I'm coming up for another one.
Mhm.
So we can't count it, but if it's close to the end, and it looks like we're gonna have meals left over, then we certainly would give it to them. If it's like right away at 12:05,
Yeah.
just say, hey, great, you know, the other day, we had lots of meals left, so if you wanna just stick around to like 12:30, and then I can, if we do, gosh, it's yours. You know, just to encourage them and not, you know,
Mhm.
just a soft way of doing that. That would be great. Another thing that we did last year, which we'll have to coordinate this year, is any meals that were left over, that we offer it to the folks at the park. And whatever is left after that, we brought over to the domestic violence shelter and also to Cochrane Homeless Shelter. So that way, our goal was not to come back with any kind of food to use for the next day.
Good.
Because since it's out, since we're in a park, the
Yeah,
you know, we
yeah.
wanted to do that because sandwiches are so much better first day.
I wonder if we could count that in non-program, you know, anything that you have left over and that you give out, that could be just counted as a, you know, as.
Something like
as
that.
Well, that's, I'm just thinking about it as in this non-program adult meals section. I'm just thinking about, you know, to have as high a count as we could get.
Well-
But, you know, let's just only do it while we're there, though. We'll only, yeah, we won't,
Okay,
anything
no.
we would give out.
So okay,
Yeah,
so.
it's only for, during the time period that you're gonna be there serving
So
at the site.
non-program, how about if it's seconds for kids? I mean, do you
No,
want it?
no, nothing.
You don't want anything
I
other
don't,
than?
just the first meal,
stay
that's
with
all
what
we
we're
can
doing,
do,
First meal
yeah.
and that's it.
We've
Okay.
never gotten into that. There,
Okay.
like I said, there is some kind of a formula, but we just
Yeah.
never have.
Yeah.
And regarding leftovers, now I think like Ally initially took stuff back up to the cities with her, and then she found out she couldn't do that because you can't guarantee the temperature. But if it went right into the refrigerator, could leftovers go to Hastings Family Service?
Bulk, we can't repackage, so we couldn't use that. We're not able to, I should say.
Oh, so it's not like, but could it get repackaged? Like you
No.
got stuff from
We, in order,
Chipotle.
but we have to have all the ingredients,
Oh, I see.
and we have to have the weight, and so, no, we can't.
Yeah, I would say once food comes down
Yeah.
here, it needs to be served at Loaves and Fishes at one of the 3 sites. And
Yeah.
I know we ran into that with Ally, 'cause she brought it back up, and then we're like, well, you know, it's
Mhm.
transported for a while, it's
Right.
not frozen,
Yeah.
so we ended up having to toss it. So
Mhm.
if it comes down to that, that's why it's like Mary was saying, try to, at the end, try to give away whatever you have left. If people are still
Mhm.
hungry, or here's another one, take it home, because
Sure.
So
hard
they
to
can
repurpose that
take it
again.
home.
Yeah.
at that point in time, yes.
Right.
Because
So
like
here-
with that,
That would, and that is so cool if you can do that.
because there's
They-
another
You're gonna have to have
program
containers.
that they won't let them take it home on the
Thursday nights,
evening.
they won't?
No.
Oh, the leftovers out of here you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, I know
if
that.
we can get
They're told
containers,
they can't
yes,
take it
some of
home
our
because
sites
they
do
don't know what
take
happens
homes.
to it after
Oh.
It leaves here.
Okay.
Is that really
Maybe
our,
we'll be checking with Jan.
I mean, if they do, they do.
Of course, but if it's Loaves and Fishes program.
Yeah, so I mean, some sites do leftovers and it's not an issue.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I'll tell you, it's a
There's
lot
a
easier
problem
if
if
someone
don't
gets
do-
sick.
Well, that's the whole issue, because they don't,
We're
they
the
don't
ones that's
know
gonna have to deal
what
with
they've
it.
done with it after it leaves
Right.
the site.
Mhm.
Which
Okay.
seems silly to me, because, you know, you take things home from
For
a restaurant.
restaurants, yeah.
Sure,
Yeah.
but it, yeah, different set of rules. So have we made a decision about that, or just talking about it if,
Well, I
Sounds
think,
good.
well, I don't think that they should bring it, somebody back
I'll
up
tell you,
to us.
yeah, oh yeah, definitely not up to us. I'll tell you, sites that have started the leftover going down that train have regretted it instead. It turns into, it's a really great idea in theory, but it usually turns into a lot of problems and
sure.
it's hard
Depends on
to
volume of people.
make it fair for
Yeah,
everyone.
yeah.
Oh,
Is something
yes.
we run into.
So,
So I would advise
volume
against
of
it.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I really, we always leave it up to, so I guess it would be Katie's call at the end of the day. If she wants to give things out, if there's containers, that type of thing.
But Loaves and Fish's position is that it's okay.
We leave it to the hands of the site coordinator, and knowing full well that we get complaints from guests saying, you know, that there's favoritism, that there's all sorts of, why are they all say that there's food there, but
Yeah.
some of the volunteers will say, no, we're holding it because of latecomers, and then the latecomers don't come, and then I didn't, so there's all sorts of, when